So, miscreants have infected millions of Android devices worldwide with malicious firmware before the devices are even shipped from their factories. This hardware is mainly just like cheapo Android mobile devices like smartwatches, TVs, and other things. The gadgets have their manufacturing outsourced to an original equipment manufacturer or an OEM. That outsourcing makes it possible for someone in the manufacturing pipeline, such as a firmware supplier, to infect products with malicious code as they ship out. The insertion of malware began as the price of mobile phone firmware dropped. Competition between firmware distributors became so furious that eventually the providers could not charge money for their product. So, because of this situation, firmware started to come with an undesirable feature, which is silent plugins. The team who wrote this article analyzed dozens of firmware images looking for malicious software. They found over 80 different plugins, although many of those were not widely distributed. The plugins that were the most impactful were those that had a business model built around them. The objective of the malware is to steal information or make money from information collected or delivered. The malware turns the devices into proxies, which are used to steal and sell SMS messages, take over social media and online messaging accounts, and used as monetization opportunities via adverts and click fraud. Through telemetry data, the researchers estimated that at least millions of infected devices exist globally, but are centralized in Southeast Asia and Eastern Europe. This speaks more to like making sure you're getting trusted devices from, I guess, trusted companies, which I know I'm going to say like Apple and Google, which many of you are going to go, oh my God. But they're probably not going to be baking in third-party spy software into their devices, most likely. So this is more of like a budget issue where if you're buying like a $15 phone online, that is a much larger risk for you.
Is this guy a retard?
Everyone. There's been a lot of like security like vulnerabilities in the news lately. I don't know. I'm sure you've seen the screenshot stuff.
Yep.
With the Pixel.
Yep. SR just went live and that covered that story. Yeah. I'm not too surprised. I'm sure you saw Adobe and Microsoft had a similar issue, I think last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And I think Apple has had that issue as well in the past, where if you send someone an image, they can undo the crop or something like that.
Interesting. It's always hard to know what tools you can trust. You would think that Google would have that down in Android, but you can never be too sure. That's what it proves. There was that Exynos vulnerability. I think you covered that in SR as well, but that affected Pixel devices as well. I don't know how many people know that Google's custom chips are based on Samsung's, so they're pretty similar. They were all affected.
So that was in my mind, I was like, okay, so Google Pixels were impacted too. I thought that maybe they had a separate chip that they were using that was also impacted. I didn't know it's because it was based on the Exynos chip.
No, yeah, Google's custom chips are pretty much entirely Exynos. I think they made like a couple minor modifications, but they're pretty much just rebranded Samsung chips.
Got it.
Google is paying Indiana $20 million to resolve a privacy suit. Well, I guess it is controversial because we all know Google can pay more.
What the hell are you smiling at?
So once again, this goes back to the allegation that Google continues to track users even when they disable the location history toggle on their Android phones. 40 states got together to mount a huge lawsuit back in November to the tune of $391.5 million. But apparently that stalled out. So Indiana just struck out solo and filed a separate lawsuit, which has already been settled. Boy, that was fast. Man, the government really moves when they want to. This is actually twice as much money as Indiana would have received had they stuck with the group suit. So I guess that's a win for them. And as usual, Google did not admit any wrongdoing as part of the settlement. This headline says Android March 2023 update fixes 2 critical code execution flaws. The article says that user interaction is not needed for exploitation, so that's very worrying. Unfortunately, there's really not much in this article. Google has withheld virtually all information until the updates can be fully rolled out. Also, like, somebody let me know if I did this wrong. I have a Pixel. I checked. I don't have the update. It still says I'm running the security update from February. The article says this thing is dated March 5th. It's March 11th as I'm recording this. Where is my update? I thought as a Pixel user, I would have updates faster than other Android users. And on that note, if anybody's watching this within the first few days it comes out, I would be really interested to know if you're on any flavor of Android and already have this update. I'm curious to know if anybody's getting it faster than Google, because I swear you'd think I'd have it by now.
they're probably not going to be baking in third-party spy software into their devices, most likely.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
I fight for the users.